On a side note, remind me after the show. I'm gonna send you one of our portable ones. We don't have them on the website right now because they're on back order, but I actually have a portable Shield Air that you can clip to the top of your
Actually, she
shirt.
has it.
Okay, if she has
Yes.
that, then make sure that it's mine because a lot of the ones that are on the market are using negative. When it comes to out in the field, you want to have the positive ion. That's
Okay.
12
Okay.
ions per cubic centimeter. I'll send you one. You send me a picture of the one that she has, but regardless, I can tell you that and when Alan had come up with hundreds of millions of Americans have issues with not only seasonal allergies, but mold is one of the number one. I could tell you my one of my favorite ones that they came up with was we came up with the little portable ozone generator that only uses 70 milligrams. You can use it and run it continuously down in the basement, but it's safe to be around 24 hours a day. You can plug that in. I will not check into a hotel room without this thing. It is literally the last thing that I put in my suitcase, and it is the very first thing that I take out. I'll walk into the hotel room. I'll plug this guy in. I'll go downstairs for 30 minutes and get a hot tea and read the Bible or whatever it is that I've got on my agenda for that day after setting up at a conference or checking into our hotel. I plug that mini in and it does unbelievable. It does unbelievable work
So
for
let me
cleaning.
ask a question of that because I don't have one of those, and I that's pretty amazing because so what we have is I've got the more heavy duty ozone machines where you plug it in and like you have to get out, otherwise it's you're coughing. I mean, it's they're serious, but
Yeah,
it does it
those are like
makes
one to
more.
two grams.
What's that?
Those are like 1 to 2 grams. The 2 gram generators, you've got to leave the room when you plug it in. This is very low level. This is like after a thunderstorm, only using
Oh.
between 30 to 70 milligrams per hour.
It's kind of crazy because if I look at it, it's like, okay, so yeah, what we're doing is I'm waiting for the mold to accumulate my basement enough that I can
Mhm.
smell it. And then I'm like taking out a bazooka. I have to clear the room to kind of kill it all. Whereas it looks like what that does is that no, you don't need a bazooka. You need like a little handgun that is slowly kind of shooting all the bad stuff for you, but you can still live around. So is that kind of like, that's what that does? It just is a very soft, kind of bearable safe level of ozone that say in a basement will just mean you plug it in once and you're never going to have, I guess probably hard to guarantee depending on the basement, but basically that's going to generate just that low level of ozone. It's going to be enough to kill all those mold spores. Is that how it
Not
would
only is
work?
it going to kill the spores, but it's also going to help keep the dust down in the basement. I've had people, Seth, and you got to remember when you've done as many shows as I've done, and the testimonies that we have. I have an entire YouTube page dedicated to just our testimonies of people coming up to us and saying the most incredible things that you've ever heard. Like I had a woman who plugged in one of our minis just a couple months ago. She's got 6 cats. Each cat has their own litter box. She's like, I plugged that thing in, and she's like, my husband came home from work and he asked me if we got rid of all the cats. And she was like, that's when I knew how powerful this thing works. She's like, because he always complained about the smell of cat urine. She's like, I change the litter box every single day, scoop it at least. And she plugged it in, couldn't smell it. I can tell you the stories that we hear from people being allergic to pets and being able to come back to loved ones' houses again. Because again, most people don't even know this, Seth. Do you know that you cannot be allergic to an animal? You're actually allergic to the protein that is coming off of the dander from that animal. So
Ah.
when that cat or that dog is running around or somebody's petting it, that dander breaks apart and there's a protein. And if there's anything you've learned in the past 4 years about proteins, your body either accepts it or rejects it, right? So that's how powerful our technology is. It even will repel the proteins from becoming airborne. I can tell you there's hundreds of emails that we have in our database of people saying I could never go over to my loved one's house because of their cat or their dog. And with the Triad Air running, we can now go over there for 6 hours and not have even an itch in the eye.
Incredible. So walk me through because I've studied ozone a little bit, and to to the degree that we have ozone, we use it for mold remediation, or like say we buy a piece of furniture on Craigslist and or Facebook Marketplace or whatever, and you take it home, and for me it's like, oh, it smells fine, it's okay. I take it home and Kate's like, it stinks. There's something wrong with it. I'm like, God, I just drove 3 hours for this Pottery Barn chair, and now she won't sit in it because it smells. I'm like, oh, okay. So I take it out in the garage, I put a tarp over it, I stick a little ozone machine in there, and it's amazing. Like it's what car dealers use to ozone, get the cigarette smells out of cars. I mean, ozone's powerful, but most people don't know about it. So explain how ozone works and how an ozone generator works to neutralize mold or anything like this in the air.
So ozone is a gas, right? So it's three particles of oxygen. So it's O3. And what it has the ability to do, just like